I'll just have to talk louder like I'm talking to my 6-year-old daughter. Okay, let's go. So it is important to the agents because it is tax season right around the corner. They're going to need this information. Now, they are being mailed, if they've not already received, they are being mailed their 1099s direct from accounting. However, they will not receive a year-end statement of their agents' expenditures like they have in the past. Sharon, that's new for you guys. You weren't with us at the end of last year. But out of the old system, we would send that blue sheet, if you guys remember, and we would hand it out to the agents. However, we're not doing that this year. Their last statement that they received will have their year end, but of course we know things get lost, this paper, right? They might not know where they placed it. So it's really easy to print that again for the agents. So we are going to ask that you guys at least do the agent invoice statements for your agents and either email them. We'll show you how you can do that quite easily to separate the PDF pages, or print them out and put them in their boxes, fold them over and staple them so it's private. But also we will show you the 1099s in case they didn't get it. Maybe they moved and didn't let us know. Sometimes those things happen, or let's face it, it is the U.S. Postal Service. Things tend to go missing sometimes. So you can see my screen, and you're looking at TransactionPlan at the dashboard. So depending on your level of security, your view may be a little different. But we are going to go right here to where it says Reports. And then again, based on your level of security, you may or may not see all of these options, but you can click on Accounting. And then the first one we want to show you is the Agent Invoice Statement right here. And then really, if you drop down the predefined, you can choose last year. If you have access to more than one office, you can choose the office to do the entire office at the time. Or if you have an agent that's like asked you for it 3 days ago and you said, hold tight, they're going to train me on how to get this, I'll get to it as soon as I see it, you can actually put it in the name here. If you start typing the agent's name, it should populate for you. Oops, and that happens too all the time to me, so beware, your screen sometimes shifts and you click the wrong person. And then click Run. And then this is going to be their agent invoice statement for all of last year. This will be the data that they're going to need for tax purposes. So again, that's TransactionPlan, Reports, and Agent Invoice Statement right here. And it's just that easy to run it. And like I mentioned, Jessica did do a great job aid here, so we will send this out to you guys. Let me go back because I did the opposite direction of what she did it. So right here is where you can find the agent invoice statement. So again, it's just Reports, Accounting, Agent Invoice Statement. And then on the other one, the 1099, which again, they are being sent these. So you don't need to proactively print these out and send them to the agents. They should already have a copy. But we wanted to show you how to do it in case they're asking for another copy if their first copy did not show up. And this one is called the Agent 1099 Review. So again, you go into Reports and into Accounting, and then you want to go to Agent 1099 Review. And Jessica, you may want to jump in here and help me out, but they do need to choose their region first. Is that correct?
Yeah, you'll first want to do the dates, the custom, which you can do last year, and then you're going to choose the state. They should all be done by state.
And you do want to choose the 2020.
Michigan the 2020.
Yep, so if we do Michigan 2020, again, you can choose an office if you have access to more than one office, or you can choose a particular agent.
So this will also give them the breakdown of what their 1099 was, Carrie. I believe this should break it down to see what they got charged per closing.
Yep, so you can see here, it does have each individual address of the closing that they had, the amount. It even goes into the check number. And then if they click on the doc ID, that should give them more information. If I'm not, yep, that'll give them even more information. That's their actual voucher, which again, they've received at the time of close, but things get lost, people misplace things. So this can be a really good way to send this to them as just good customer service because it's the data that they're going to need. So again, it's just that simple. It's those two reports. It's the agent 1099 review. The only little caveat to remember is you do have to choose the state in which you reside and the correct year, which is 2020. And then again, the second one is that agent invoice statement. Now, if you don't have PDF Pro, and most people don't, whether you're in Michigan and Ohio, you can do the PDF all as one, and then in .loop you can separate out the PDF into separate files. Or if you're in Florida and you're utilizing app files, and Sharon, I know your team's not quite there yet, we're getting you there, you can also split out a multi-page PDF using app files as well. So Jessica, I don't know if you want to take over the screen and show that in .loop while I read these questions real quick.
Sure. Let me just get a document real quick. I have one. Sorry, Carrie, I lost my tab.
That's okay. I kind of sprung it on you, and we didn't really have time to practice this just today.
I can answer Sarah's question, yes.
Oh, Mike's on here.
For some reason, I didn't have sound. All the 1099s were mailed out a week ago Monday.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Sorry, Carrie.
That's okay.
My tab's missing. I have too many things open.
Yep, I completely understand how that happens.
Here we go. Jeez. Okay. Let's do this one.
Harry, where you at?
I'm in my basement office. I just have a fancy background.
Let's see. I need a document to split. How about? Just do like any PDF you can do. Let's do this. I have it open. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something that I can show everybody.
Harry, are they coming out in a different form?
Well, if you're doing the entire office at a time, so you're not having to run individual reports, you can export it as a PDF, and then this step will allow the ASC to separate it out individually by agent, so that only that agent's getting that report.
I thought the report actually breaks it out as well.
You can choose to do an individual agent, but if you're exporting an entire office at one time, it does break it out onto separate pages, but it exports it as one PDF.
Okay.
So you can actually just upload the PDF all into whatever loop you want, and then when you hit split, you can, like this is 2 pages, so it's not a very great example, but you can put however many pages it's going to be. And like the first one could be Elizabeth's job, and then you can just click which page it is. And then the next one, it's probably a better example with more. Then you can put the next one, but you can label all of them right here. And then that'll split it into different documents.
And then that'll allow you in the loop for Michigan and Ohio to share their information only to that agent, so that you're not having the full report. Of course, we want to avoid that at all costs. We don't want to share financial data.
It's probably best to click into them. The thing is when you choose the pages, it jumps down to the page, so you can actually see what name's in the background. So that's why I found it to be easiest through that.
It's a good
Once you click
check.
done, then you'll actually see them. So you can see Elizabeth, but then it splits it out, and then you can just share it right through there.
Yep.
So it's quite simple that way.
Yep. And the functionality of app files is quite similar. But if you guys in Florida aren't quite sure how to do that, we'll just ask Kathy to do a training offline so that you guys are well aware of how that functionality works in app files as well. Let me see if there's any other questions. Oh, Sarah, Sarah said that the agent that didn't think they had it found it in a pile of papers. Funny how those things sometimes just walk away in the middle of the night. Great. Any other questions for you guys?
I had one agent that's been getting the wrong address for 4 years now. Do you hear that, my phone?
Yeah, you're echoing pretty badly.
I think you have too many things close together, Mike.
That could be it. But we
My
appreciate.
speaker wasn't working, so I had to call in the phone.
Oh, gotcha. Can you turn your speaker off and it'll get rid of that echo?
It's not coming through on me. It's only on my phone that I can hear.
You gotta
Okay.
mute your computer.
We got a double extra monitor, and now I have no sound. So,
Did you? Oh, good, Mike. Did you see the question about the actual 1099?
no.
So the question was, can we pull an actual 1099 as opposed to the review? Sometimes agents ask for the 1099 later in the year.
Not at this point, but Mark is going to try to create a report so that it'll be an agent on their, whenever they log in, they'll be able to pull it themselves.
Great.
Do you want to? Would they just ask you, Mike, for that, or if they needed it later? You're muted.
I muted him thinking that he had double audio, the computer and
Oh,
the
gotcha.
phone.
So you lost, did you not hear me?
No.
I have to pull the 1099s from 1099 Pro, which is not attached to a contract.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions? We are, just for your guys' knowledge, we are working, we're doing a beta test in Michigan with some agents and actually allowing them to get into TransactionPlan to be able to access their own information. Those same 2 reports will be available to the agent themselves. So our goal here in Q1 is to get that access to all of the agents in the company so that they'll be able to pull their own reporting. Obviously, it's important for you guys to know how to do it, so in case they ask you, you can show them, or of course, some agents would just prefer that you do it for them. So we are working on that. We hope it'll be a really good portal for the agents to be able to go back and get the data that they need without having to reach out. Obviously, they can always reach out if they want to, but we are going to try to get that access to all of the agents here by the end of Q1. The portal is found if you want to go to schmidtresources.com. There's an account tech / transaction plan square, and the link for transaction plan can be found there. It's darwin.transactionplan. blah blah blah. So it's easiest if you go to schmidtresources.com, go to the account tech / transaction square, and then there is a link for transaction plan right there. Great. Well, I don't see any other questions. Of course, when you guys get in there to start playing around, if you have any issues or questions, always reach out to myself, to Jessica, to Mike, to anybody, your RSCs, and we will get the information to the agents as they need it. So I appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Jessica.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.